position 3 and your mid lane will need to have a lot of control as well. This is like the second thing they can go for, which I doubt.
Or AA.
Well, I think AA for what, VP?
AA for TNC.
Oh, for TNC, AA is great. Yeah, that's the
AA
hero I
for
want to
TNC
see.
is crazy.
That's good, yeah, against the IO heals, and they always pick a stunning carry with AA. They were doing AA Wraith King 2 games in a row, AA Sven, same idea. It's just,
they go Silencer.
Yeah.
But then you need like something like a Beastmaster that can stun both Enigma and Sven.
Yeah, the lack of stuns between those two supports is a little bit concerning.
We saw in yesterday's game where one team had Gyro as their only stun.
There goes the rocket.
That didn't go well.
AA.
Yeah. No, it's just a great pick. Gives them a good lane. It's a support duo with not much reliable stuns or lockdown. Maleficent is actually not terrible, but it's something they can maybe make up for by getting a stun from their offlane. And even if not, you've got Sven. That's one of the nice things with Sven as a carry is like this reliable, fairly reliable stun initiation means you can pick these other support options.
There's the Beast, and I wonder if TNC will look toward their Venomancer, which is a combo that they really like with the Ancient Apparition.
No, that's more counter to when enemy team has Sven, so they can kite.
All right. Fair enough.
It's not worth picking just for the AA synergy alone. And Veno Enigma seems, I mean, it could come
a lot
out.
of team fight damage. I personally would not mind seeing the Kunkka here at it.
I think they're going to go with an offlane. It's most likely Enigma position 4. And I would love to see something that can like initiate, maybe build into Lotus Orb, so they have Guardian Greaves on Enigma at one point against the Global Silence plus a Lotus Orb builder. Their damage is pretty limited right now on VP.
Bristleback would fit that mold.
Bristle, maybe
Tidehunter.
Tidehunter.
I like
as
their
well,
average.
but
I think it's too much how TNC love to play. And the thing is Kunkka really counterable as a laning matchup right now?
No hard counters anyways. They can ban OD if they're worried about that, but Kunkka, he doesn't get all the denies he used to with the changes on Tidebringer, but he's going to get farm in any matchup, except maybe the Monkey King matchup. That's one that used to be fairly Monkey King favored.
That's why you have a ban. But I do wonder if you think about getting cute and even picking an Ursa if they ban the Monkey King. But
for mid,
against the Kunkka.
Ursa is a do nothing kind of hero. It just doesn't do anything for their draft.
He's kind of crap.
You can't pick You can't pick a hero just because it has a good lane.
Just for the laning matchup. Yeah, I agree. That's more.
I wouldn't mind seeing a Dragonite on Virtus Pro this game because at one point
you're gonna call DK.
I mean, you're gonna have this slow dragon. It's a melee versus melee matchup, and they're gonna need maybe one more stun. So they're gonna buy.
There's the Tide.
And the Tide.
Tide would have been the ideal offlaner, but it was one of those things where it's like you pick the Tide, then they probably ban Kunkka, and it is a great Kunkka game.
Sadly, they banned Tide, so we don't have the Kunkka against the Tide matchup.
I mean, it would have been Kunkka with Tide. They would be on the same team.
I still want some.
Yeah, that's true. I was just going for Kunkka against the Tide. Like these two have the best lines when playing against each other.
Yeah,
true.
So other Cuckoo heroes for that offlane.
He's played Mars as one of the few ones.
Ooh.
And as already mentioned, Veno as well.
There's the OD ban for the mid lane. It's also a save against Kunkka. That's the other big thing. That's probably why last game I thought they were going to pick Kunkka, because they banned OD last game as well.
Sheev has something to say.
Darkseer still in the pool.
What?
Darkseer still in the pool.
Yeah, it's not great against IO Gyro, and you're not going to get much help in the offlane. So IO Gyro is going to free farm versus Darkseer. Darkseer may even get zoned out completely. I don't rate Darkseer as the pick here.
Seeing Mars here against IO Gyro because they're always grouped up together, and then you're gonna have like 3 strength cores that are really hard to kill, and Virtus Pro is really limited on the burst damage.
Some kind of a tanky front line. That's where Tide's amazing, because you can't even use Roar or Global Silence against him. He's going to crack it off.
Mars. Very good call.
Mars it is.
So what is the VP mid?
Tough one.
Yeah,
Storm.
Okay. There's plenty of lockdown though.
Yeah.
This time, and I think this is where Armel can show that he really does have the chops as the top mid. I think he can put a lot of pressure on the no-one Storm in this matchup.
It's a free Storm game. They have X mark, but if he's fast enough, I think he can dodge every single thing. I mean, You're playing against Black Hole. Supports are pretty limited on what they can
Hey,
bring
Toby.
against the Storm Spirit. Hey, guys.
Hey, guys, we can't really hear you.
You can't hear us.
Wait,
Oh,
can you hear
now
us?
we
Oh, I
can.
could. Yeah,
Oh, hi guys, how you doing?
Now we
back
discussed.
with you in a second. Please hold. We'll
that
be there
thought.
soon. Let me finish
Time
this
out.
up, K-Tobes. You'll get your chance. You'll get your time. All right, guys. Toby's in a hurry, I think. Who do you favor in this draft?
I'm going to favor TNC because it's Enigma, and Toby wants that Enigma to do well. So for your sake, Toby, we'll see TNC.
I'd say TNC won the draft, but the way VP played in the previous game, I think they're going to have this. It's a good Storm game, but I'm a bit worried about their burst damage because they're not going to be able to achieve much with the Global Silence. Still going to go with the VP.
All right.
After Alliance Gambit yesterday, this is one of the series I was most hyped about the entire event. Game 3 hype TNC.
I hope that we get that Game 3 hype. That would be amazing to witness here in a full stadium. I know that they're fully VP fans, but secretly they're just all big Dota fans, and they would love to see a Game 3 as well. Isn't that right, Toby?
I just can't believe Shiva put me on hold. You put me on hold without even waiting music. I had this weird podcast with like a guy that sounded like a professor just talking at me. Like
Yeah.
that was it. Like why I don't know what this is. Like
We were talking about
Ah.
percentages and which team
Ah.
has 70%, which one has 30%, and all
Yeah.
that stuff. And you just blow us away like that. All right.
yeah. Da, 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 da. VP smoking, VP moving.
We
All right.
have a 5-man, well, 4-man smoke, which is going to disappear as Armel is.
Hey,
Positioned really
it's
well.
like, I'm going Tidebringer first. I don't need no stuns. I don't want to fight this at all. Yeah, VP, 5-man smoke, posturing over. They are looking for anything and they shall find absolutely nothing.
It's pretty
But they have a
easy.
very deep ward in from
Yeah.
Roger.
It's really good versus the Enigma, right? You can always see this guy farming and then just mess with him, steal his creeps, do whatever you want to him, actually. It's an Enigma in the jungle.
They actually can take 3 bounty runes at the moment. So, maybe if Beastmaster wants to try and contest bottom, Mars is nearby. He's fantastic for contesting the runes because obviously you just spear
Yeah.
somebody away.
You can just spear that Beastmaster away, definitely, and steal the rune, but
It's always fun watching the early boarding game also just change over the course of like not just this tournament, but obviously like many patches. The fact that these wards now nothing's in mid lane.
Hey.
We had bears scouting out their positions at the very beginning, and now it's like,
Hey,
well, we got one
bounties.
for bounty rune.
Bounties!
Wait, what? They were meant to take all of them, and
They
they're
were
taking none of them.
well, that's an outplay right there on the start.
Here I thought it was in the bag for Virtus Pro to grab those, so I was ready to have a conversation about wards, but
you go deep to plant that ward so that you know which route to run away from the bounties, I suppose.
you
I
got
don't know.
to know when to pull out, but that was too early. Too early.
Yeah, that's what we all say. Anyway, Cuckoo on the bottom lane. And on the mid lane, Armel.
Yeah. Armel versus no one.
And-
Like, looking to see no one try and clean that title back as the best mid laner in the world. Cuckoo, of course, he's very happy on his hero. This is one of his favorites. Maybe not when he misses the last hit in the range creep just there, but still, Mars for Cuckoo. This is something that team's been panning out against him, and now he finally gets it.
Finally, and there's a reason why it's been banned out against him. That hero is so good. At the same time, Armel on this Gonka has performed really well this tournament, and no one he talked about this Storm. He considers Storm to be the most broken hero of the patch, so we have to wait and see if he can perform
Yep.
to
Well,
those
if
levels.
he knows why it's broken, he should know how to counter the brokenness. That's some frog logic right there. There's always something, right? Like if a hero is too OP, you need to find the way to get around it. Items, other heroes, perfect counters.
Yeah, but you still lose because the hero is broken. That's usually how it works.
Shh, shh, shh. Nothing is broken in Dota. Everything is countable.
Everything is broken.
Yeah.
That's why nothing is broken.
Sounds like one of those like Assassin's Creed lines, right? It's like what is it? Everything's permitted, nothing is permitted, or whatever the hell it is. Like.
Something like that.
Yeah, I should remember this. I'm a big Assassin's Creed fan. Early ones only. Like it's just like being a Call of Duty fan. Early ones only. Yeah, but 12-2, his CS is looking pretty damn good against the Kunkka, who's 8-0, 14-2. My God, yeah, no one's having a fantastic start.
Yeah, bottom lane
on this Storm
Cuckoo,
Spirit.
he can't really do a whole lot versus this dual lane. You can just stand back and wait for the creeps to push in, which is pretty decent for you, but you have to be careful. Wisp and Gyro can definitely dive well this early on.
I like how they're also like range harassing. Like Roger has his spirits, Ramses has his homing missile. You don't care about flat cannon early on, just anything that's going to take away the life of Cuckoo.
Yeah, you can't use that flat cannon as long as there's creeps around. Once the creeps are out, you can dive him with it as well. Tims, this is your standard Enigma right here. Standard Enigma gameplay. How exciting. Farming the jungle.
It's riveting. Enigma in the jungle. Enigma in the jungle.
Gonna murder you, right? And steal your money? Is that how it goes?
Whack my head against a desk so I can create a soul ring. Yep. Never forget the classics.
The classics, man.
It really was. There's probably even kids today that don't even know what we're talking about. I'm going to get in more trouble about that, making 1990s references.
Yeah, this mid lane, 19-2 from no one so far. This matchup used to be a little bit better for Kunkka. I believe right now no one should do quite well. He is taking a lot of damage from that Tidebringer, obviously, but Storm has been buffed a few patches in a row, so it's a little bit easier for him. And if the lane does go badly for him, he can always go to the jungle, recover a little bit, get that level 6, then come back.
Oh, first blood.
There we go.
Catch the end of it with Pasha going down. Ancient Apparition working with his men.
Yeah, good combination of heroes right here. It's a combination that TNC loves to play as well. Ancient Apparition plus Sven, Cold Feet, stun, easy kill.
And now they go for a rebuttal. Virtus Pro diving the tier 1 tower. Cuckoo, there is no support coming his way. Just going to rebuke damage before death. Ramses and Roger ready to try and just level the scoreboard. One apiece, everyone's off the mark. No ducks here.
And on top lane now we see a fight happening. I mean, these two teams are playing a perfectly symmetric game twice in a row now. In that first game, the same thing happens.
Offlaner dies, Storm's actually in a real lot of trouble. They maybe with a vortex. Tim's going to arrive. No one. He's got the extra health. Roger gives it to him. Armel, he's able to survive through the tower. And he can steal a double damage room, but he can't do much with it, apart from go jungle and farm a bit, but that's Tim's area. Ah, that's what you can do.
That's what you can do.
It's really easy. I can go back and heal.
Pretty good for him, and now he can come back with that double damage and continue pressuring the Storm. That's just perfect for him at the moment. Also, Roger porting in with that Wisp and saving his midder. It's not really something that we see very often anymore. When Roger started playing Wisp and started playing in Virtus Pro, that was done all the time.
Here's that combination once again with the slowdown and body block from Gabby. Absolutely perfect.
And
Solar cannot walk away, but yeah, hey, Cuckoo, he's in trouble. Spear him away, get him away from me as he can get back underneath the tower.
All right, well, that's 1 point for TNC, 0 for Virtus Pro. First time they get the kill on one side and they don't feed the Mars on the other.
And even the bounties will be 2-2, yep. But Roger having the bottle, this is what makes this offlane just really start to function better. So Roger can just bring Ramses practically up to full for both mana as well as life. Go pick up the other while Pasha being hunted into the trees. The cold feet tick damage. Won't be enough. Gabby looking for him. Moving around the trees as Pasha just looking for every single juke possible. Now the boar is up. He can body block him. No, Gabby gets around it in the cold feet. Able to reveal him. And AU. No, Korea actually going to take a hit from the tower.
Yeah, it was there just to scout for the Beastmaster as well if he continued
except the
juking.
courier actually died to the attacks from the tower. So it scouts.
Did it die to the... It should have died to the tower,
the attacks from the towers came out. It had two chasing it on the way back.
Sometimes you fly the courier over the hard camp and they just kill it for some reason when they have that movement issue happen to them. But this time around, I believe you're right, it was the tower following the courier.
I actually got a funny feeling too, it was just delivering items. Even though we can make it sound really good, TNC were definitely scouting in the tree line.
It was delivering, but then they did send it towards the Beastmaster too. Gabby?
Gabby's in trouble, TP support is on the way. It's Enigma who's going to arrive. He's level 4, got arcane boots to give back. But they'll move back and just shrine.
Sven is always a little bit difficult to take down one of those tankier heroes, so they just give up on it as they see the Enigma coming in for the help. And this is classic No One Storm Spirit, just going back into the jungle to farm.
So classic that TNC's already put an Observer Ward down looking for it. Hey, here we go again.
Another classic move.
Yeah, Cuckoo under pressure. Push him away, homing missile will still connect and Roger. No TP supports coming in from this one. Enigma's already used this to try and save the top. Cuckoo trying to save out in the tree line, but it won't work. Needed his soul ring to actually have enough mana to let that ulti out. The arena of blood.
Yeah, sadly for his team, they don't care about
Oh,
it.
X
And they
marks
let
into
him
the
die.
turret. Armel lining up for a big hit. No one losing a lot of life, but not enough damage, even with the 4 points up in the Tiebringer.
Yeah, playing there on the edge, but he's fine. As long as there's no help for Armel, he shouldn't get these solo kills on the Storm, definitely.
Pasha. Double boars can help slow up Gabby, but then it's like, all right, well, we'll turn and fight solo. What are you going to do? You going to stunt, try and help out? Well, you got harassment, but no mana to work with.
Those level 3 boards are very difficult for Sven to deal with in the lane, and I wouldn't be surprised if he left it soon, unless this Enigma rotates in and they start pressuring that tier 1 on the top lane, per se.
Is that something, too, that TNC should be looking to do? Like, obviously you have an Enigma, you want to add some pressure, but is the top tier 1 tower, like...
I mean, you're pretty much playing with Enigma in the jungle, like we stated before, so you're not pressured, you're just farming. That's your whole point right now. You could see that Cuckoo is completely left alone lonesome on this bottom lane. It's like they don't care about him at all. And that's because they do have that Enigma, so... They're playing 4 versus 5 at the moment, waiting for those items to end levels from the Enigma.
This is nice for no one. A double damage rune in the bottom river. He can rotate down, but up on top, Solo. He's the one being initiated in with the cold feet. He'll move away. Pasha now to battle underneath Midnight Pulse, but he's got the Roar out already, keeping Gabby away. And Storm Spirit with that double damage rune rotates in towards the top. Wants to kill off Sven's, able to claim it. Then through more, but Armel's already there with the X-Mark, Torrent, and Ship. The combo is sweet! The Storm's not dead. Bottling up, running away, still had a heavy amount of damage. Armel hasn't given this up just yet. And he can go towards Solo. No, the Vortex.
Surprised they didn't go for that solo kill. Also, you could see that Solo was running in the opposite direction of no one, so he doesn't get cleaved. Very well played by them there. At the same time, Sven does fall, which is...
Oh, they found a new target. They found Silencer over on the sideline. It's,
He does fall in the end.
Yeah, he does. He walked over. It was the Observer Ward that was planted down to watch the farming of no one previously. But just let him know, like, we walk up the hill, we then take the kill.
Cuckoo is just hiding behind the tower over here, but Kunkka is rotating in.
They're bringing help. Armel, all they need to do is get the X-Mark off, and he can hold him there. Now, there is a relocate save possibility. So even if Cuckoo lets the ulti off, maybe you have to catch the IO as well.
Now, you have to be careful how you use that X-Marks spot. Or Roger has to be careful how he uses the relocate, that is. So...
That's what that was maybe like the Kunkka's extra part, right? Like he's able to help counter against him. Roger goes up the hill. Here comes your torrent. It's going to connect over on the IO, and now the X mark is out, but there's no follow-up here. I mean, so it's like it's cool.
That was very cool, but at the same time, not intended. He wanted to catch the gyrocopter, not the Wisp that was tethering over. He didn't have the vision on him. Still, though, very, very cool.
Yeah.
If he only had the follow-up.
10-minute bounty runes need to be gathered up. No one's coming towards the top lane. So Virtus Pro will contest. Gabby's nearby. Here comes the jump in. A quick roll. They've already got the bounty runes and relocate the back lines. They find Tim's at the tier 1 tower. Armel's already gone down and over to the trees. Tim's trying to battle the fog of war, but Roger's balls. They keep stopping their target. They found him. A little too late to get the Midnight Pulse out to do any kind of damage.
Man,
the TNC lose too.
Yeah, this is the second time in a row that the Sven dies, and he did have a decent of a laning stage, but they saw Roger has 6. Why commit for that fight so early on?
Feels rough.
Yeah, feels rough. I guess they thought Solo doesn't have the global yet. He didn't use the tome, so we can take the fight. They lose the Enigma and the Sven, which sets them back quite a lot. You don't want to be that at all, Sven, in this particular game, because you're farming up against Wisp and Gyro. And that combo, I believe, is the only combination of heroes right now that can stop Sven when it comes to the farming game, right? You can farm faster than him.
You are still getting a hell of a lot of space, like on Kunkka. We've seen that combination before. Like if it continues to happen, then these bounty runes won't really mean much. TNC will catch up. In fact, now they're looking towards Ramsey's stack. They know this will have to be pretty big. The Observe Ward gives them very, very clear vision. Not to wrap around the side, however, and that's what Ancient Emperor is looking to do. Hit that Ice Blast over to Roger. No one's there with the bottle charges, and Solo's going to smoke him up. They can jump over and counter this if they wanted to. And in fact, now it's Armel who moves up the hill. He can break the smoke with the Observer. He sees so much. What's he want to do? They know he's in the trees. Pull him back in again. Here comes your boat. Maybe some space can be created. The Ice Blast flies forward. Roger gets hit with the skewer back. Now the Ancients are actually helping to get the kill. AU's trying to do the work up the hill. And he's going to get the kill onto no one. The Ancient stack of VP turns against them.
He even missed him uphill a couple of times there, but still he had enough damage to kill that Storm. And that's all because Armel, he used that boat instantly so that they cannot take him down fast enough and go for other targets.
when you're caught between all of VP's heroes, it's like, okay, I'm ready to write Armel off. Like, and all of a sudden, wait, we have some investment. Regeneration Rune just stolen, EU is in trouble, support's coming over, and now with a torrent, it connects over on the IO, X marks the spot, Roger, he's gonna come straight back and Rams is like, okay, I'm sorry, bro, you're gonna die, a tether away will not work, the Mallet for stun from Tim's, just canceling that tether away.
A couple of heroes that work really well against that tether right now are Invoker's Cold Snap, right, and Enigma's Malefice. You can't tether out any longer as it does break it does stop you. Before, if you tether, like you just continue tethering, even if you're stunned, it doesn't matter. Right now it works a little bit differently, and I believe it's a well-deserved nerf for the Wisp. The hero is still very strong, so...
He's still being picked up a hell of a lot, even if it's mainly with the Gyrocopter. Combination still works. But Virtus.pro, this early aggression that they've had around the runes starting to slow down a little bit as TNC moves back into farming pattern. And this means we see Sven as well as Kanka really start to scale up.
Yeah, we also see that Enigma has a full mech completed. So net worth, even though Virtus.pro were the ones winning these fights, kind of, Enigma just pulls them up ahead when it comes to net worth, as that Arcane Boots and mech is completed on her.
And with this, TNC's team fight gets stronger. VP, they want to hunt. So double smoke up, heading towards the bottom lane. Cuckoo's the target.
Yeah, they have the reload as well.
He's like 2 points of experience away from level 10. Now he'll grab it. And Pasha wants to roar.
Tanky.
Here comes your relocate. Cuckoo into the trees. Arena of Blood might be able to just hold him out. But now, he goes for your first hit. The cooldown's coming and Cuckoo just runs. The top tier 1 tower is the trade-off. He'll let the Arena of Blood out as now begins his TP. Pasha said the homing missile will connect. So nowhere to go apart from dead, but he can make him work for it at least. This is a hard burn at the gym.
-2. That's some easy intelligence for Solo.
But Tim's takes the tier 1 tower up on top, and they're not stopping there. They want to push the tier 2 tower and force VP to go for, okay, you can kill Mars, but you'll lose 2 towers and get a tier 1 tower trade-off.
This is the power of support Enigma. Even if you counter Enigma with heroes such as Silencer or Rubik, you don't have to play around the black hole. Just play around the utility that this hero gives you, and that's the utility of mech. You farm so fast that you have that mech on a position 4 and then you start pushing with it.
They lost their vision, TNC, so they don't feel as confident to be here anymore. In fact, AA's already TP'd away, but she can still hit her Ice Blast. He can hit a Ice Blast from a while away. I'm fairly certain AA is a male.
Yeah, I'm certain that as well. But I keep on calling Enigma a she, but who am I? I don't know. I can't.
Enigma has no gender. Enigma is an Enigma. If we knew the gender, that's too much information to know about Enigma.
Those specs, though.
You know, the only person who knows about Enigma is Templar Assassin. Because she stole the information about Enigma's home. The secrets.
Yeah. I've heard of that.
And then Enigma like destroyed the library. That's why TA is like the last TA or something, like the last of her group. Thank you, Slacks. He has educated me on that.
Thanks, Slacks.
Thanks, Slacks. Also at the same time, Slacks. Everyone in the chat knows what to say about Slacks. Starts with an F.
Just tweet at him a little bit.
Yeah, no.
That's all we want.
Sure. No more mistakes on that front. Kunker is in the middle of 3 heroes right now in the mid lane, but X-Mark spot pulls him back. Just cleans up the wave, gets information on Virtus.pro's movements.
Yeah, you can see that Virtus.pro, they aren't having these movements that always connected on the right targets, like in that last game. Yeah, they did take down the Mars, but they lose a tier 1 for that.
Oh, no one?
Yeah, he's
Vortex, he's X-Marked.
He's X-Marked, he's fine completely. This time around, TNC is doing a better job.
There's no way to pull him back on that, right? Like, if there's a perfect timing on Vortex that you can do, you still return to X.
You still get returned, yeah.
Stormbot flies forward, Solo, Cold Feet, as well as Vortex is down, so cannot walk it off.
Yeah, that's God's Strength committed from Sven, which is quite a big ulti to use for Solo, but you're happy with that. You still get a good kill on that Silencer.
I'm actually wondering, too, like how TNC approached like later fights. Like Tim's, yeah, he's getting Greaves, but obviously if he starts a black hole,
nah, you can't. You're pretty much, you're pretty much just waiting as
for
Enigma.
Silencer to die.
Yeah, you're for Silencer to use global or to die. That's it. Knowing Solo, he's going to be very patient with that.
And knowing Solo, he'll have buyback always available. Even if you do get the kill, he just buyback and then trigger it.
It can be a double-edged blade as well, because you're saving those Greaves that give your team utility for the global, and then someone dies because you're saving it. So you just have to burst one target low enough to force the Enigma to use the Greaves, and then afterwards you can global silence.
They're pushing top again, TNC. Any kind of pressure that brings VP back to their safe lane, takes them away from that bottom lane of the Radiant side, which is always a nuisance, always pushing in.
Always pushing in, but yeah, while Armel is playing on this top lane together with Cuckoo, Wisp and Gyro, they're just farming alone around those ancient stacks. They're getting so much. No one is farming their jungle too.
Yep. He's going to go in for that. Actually, you've already got BKB flying out for Gyrocopter. That's a fun timing for VP. Maybe they do something with it.
Yeah, but you see, the item build from him was drums and now the BKB too. Well, that's a lot of sustain on this Gyrocopter. He just doesn't want to die. It's not your Maelstrom or Aghanim's build. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't really help you farm faster, though, this item build. It does definitely help you fight.
It's like a sustained test from Virtus.pro in this game. They understand their timing is probably going to be a little bit later.
Yeah, it's problematic to go for, let's say, Maelstrom or Aghanims, even when you're playing versus AA and Konka. You just get blown up instantly, so...
Mel always pushing out with his X mark. VP are looking for something. They're smoked up. That torrent, it actually connects on solo. The smoke is going to break, and then a quick cusp. He's already back with the X mark. Pasha can't find the opportunity he wants. Now they come underneath the observe board. Ice Blast flies forward. They should be able to get at least a chill over on Roger and Ramses, but underneath the shrine, Ramses, he thinks he gets enough damage to get through Mars. Still no Arena of Blood up. Now he'll actually get it. Lock him on top of the shrine. Do you want to buy back for this one? Doesn't look like it. Instead, no one jumps all the way over the Arena of Blood to go after Tim. Some Alpha to buy Tim a little bit of time, but not enough.
Yeah, that arena was a little bit too late over there, my friend. He was already dead, so just wasted that ulti. Enigma as well. Like, you can't contain Storm. He just flies over, zips over that arena and gets Enigma too.
And VP are looking for more. TNC, if VP can find it, they can move in towards Roshan. They want the tier 1 tower to begin with.
Yeah, you have to be careful. That Mars is respawning, and so is Enigma. Just 8 seconds remaining, so you can't even take the tier 1 off of that.
And you have no global.
Yeah, but you are farming, so you're fine with that. Like, you took over their jungle, you're farming. By the way, that rune there, that arcane rune, Storm wasn't going instantly for it, and I love no one for that, because he definitely learned the lesson from the previous series. Well, not previous, yesterday's, in which Sark jumps that rune, gets instantly hexed, double hexed, they just died there. Yeah. TNC was also doing the exactly same thing, so very well played by Virtus.pro around there. Now TNC, they just have to find a way to utilize those Greaves and everything that they've got on their supports.
Yep, that's sustain. Like, once again, like, you're going to push 5 heroes to the top lane to take a tier 2 tower. Like, this is the 3rd time you've now moved for this objective.
That AA ulti was... I guess he's just trying to outpush a little bit with it. It's something you do every now and then as an AA. Not
in Australia, we call that a wide.
Yeah, usually you...
That's outside, that's outside the markers.
Exactly. Usually you have to hit the creeps to kill them, so perhaps the next time he'll try and do that.
I don't know what's your national sport?
Our national sport? We play football.
Football?
Yeah.
Okay, then out of bounds.
Pretty much.
Shy of the posts. Alright, so Roshan's still an objective. I don't know if anyone really wants to go into it, however. Like, it feels so dangerous just to cluster against both of these sides.
Nah, you're just happy farming around here as Gabi, just getting your items for now at least. You have the BKB completed and the Echo Saber. But this is always a problem when you have multiple cores stuck on the same part of the map. You usually either smoke out and spread out the way they just did, but it's not very efficient. And that's where Wisp comes into play. That's why teams with Wisp are so good, because you can just spread the map much easier, and then you have that vision from the Beastmaster to help it even further.
You can see TNC, like they're making a priority of it. They need to get in there, get rid of it.
Yeah, you know what other thing? Virtus.pro is really good that you have this silencer. He can clear the waves with his first spell. Also, Boris can push in. You don't even have to show up on these lanes. You can outpush the lanes, which leaves TNC clumped up. That's why they're doing this, because they don't see anything across the map. They aren't seeing these heroes right now, and you have to be careful. They have Relocate, they have Storm, and the Beastmaster. They can jump on anyone at any given point, but they aren't. They're farming instead. Yeah,
I'm hearing you a lot with the Virtus.pro. Like, yeah, I think their initiation is wonderful, but the more and more this game goes on, it also feels like TNC's got really, really scary damage.
Oh, definitely.
I've seen Kunkka cleave through an entire team, and you've got Sven who's building into that Daedalus, so you jump on someone, but how do you stop yourself from getting instantly bursted with heavy damage output, something that the IO cannot regenerate up through?
Definitely, definitely. I hear you. TNC, they scale very well with the Sven and the Kunkka, but I believe Virtus Pro right now, they understand that this smoke is happening. You can see Pasha retreating. And
X-Mark looking for the target. It's going to be Pasha looking for the Raw. Stormbolt up. Easy follow-up, and here comes your Ice Blast forward. No one, just ball lightning straight over the top of him.
Yeah, sadly, he did not retreat on time, which is peculiar because you see that ward behind the tier 2 that's so deep. It did scout out the smoke. That's why they were so converged around that shrine. They knew what was coming. Pasha just a little bit on the slow side though.
And they almost got more. Like, looked like VP wanted to fight that, but like they relocated the gyro and the IO in, like below and to the right.
Yeah, they were close enough. They're thinking, if we do get the roar off, then perhaps we can fight. The roar doesn't go. They also see the BKB used, so they bail.
Yep. That initiation starting to come up from Cuckoo. So TNC's ability to actually jump forward is going to be on the back of that Blink Dagger of Mars.
It's going to be so crucial for them. It sets up everything. You have the Black Hole afterwards, the Midnight Pulse, the AA ulti, and obviously Kunkka with the boat. That Blink from the Mars is going to be really big in these next couple of fights for them.
And this isn't the first time we've seen TNC under pressure to hit their combo right. We saw it earlier today. And my God, did that hit. Obviously, you can't start the same way with the Enigma, so how do you do it? You find a replacement. You find it through the Mars. VP push the bottom tower, and even if TNC group up, they can't get there in time. The tower is toast.
Yeah, they're already here way too soon. With the Beastmaster passive and the gyro being there, they push way too fast. You can't react to it unless you're already there when they start pushing.
Yeah.
Which they weren't. Cuckoo was getting that blink.
So both teams have lost their safe lane towers, tier 1s and tier 2s. The advantage for TNC is they still have their 2 tier 1 towers in mid as well as top, as something that VP lack. Oh, but VP don't lack vision. That observer ward, I think it caught the edge of the smoke of TNC.
That's the second smoke that it caught, so they should understand what's happening. You can see them retreating, but Pasha
They don't see the Blink Dagger. Pasha's the one to be caught out. Here comes your Ice Blast. Virtus Pro, no way they can save him.
Yeah, this is so unfortunate for them.
Blink for Enigma too.
Yeah, they read the movement, but they don't react fast enough, and they run in the wrong direction. A little bit greedier of direction. He thought that he had enough time, but that Blink Dagger obviously caught, catching him off guard. Pretty well played by Mars.
And back-to-back deaths, and Pasha, well, he's still got the Vlads as well as the Solar Crest, but he's been sold up a little bit. He was looking to get BTs as well as Blink Dagger, so he was meant to be that increase to global, but more of like that jump-in initiation of Virtus Pro that doesn't require the Storm Spirit to be the frontliner. That's his job. While TNC are getting what he's searching for, Pasha with that Blink Dagger, they're getting it in droves from multiple heroes. Enigma Blink, you've got your Blink over on Mars, and obviously Kunkka has just been running himself in with armor with all this heavy strength with an escape mechanism through the X-Mark.
They're definitely hitting their timers and buying the right items, unlike in that first game, right?
Trouble for Mars. Easy. No, they have no stun. All right, cool. That's some good bounty runes.
Yeah, and if you're a Virtus Pro right now, I believe your next huge spike is Ramsey's getting that butterfly. After that, it's going to be a little bit easier for you to fight as you're actually going to have damage. They're definitely lacking in that department at the moment. Storm is all right, Gyro is all right, but they could use an extra oomph at the moment.
I'm actually wondering too, like how you itemize against that. Like, do you look for, like, well, Mars is going to get a BKB, and so is the Enigma. But do you start thinking like, is it worth getting guards? Is it worth?
Well, you can.
Like, at least getting some reduction.
You can get some reduction versus the Gyro always, it's good. Versus no one too.
And it seems like they're banking on their team fight instead. And hello, Solar, he's a big one to kill off as well. Ice Blast is coming in, X-Mark will hold him there. So Solar will end up going down. He doesn't have buyback available, so Tims will feel a lot more comfortable, even though Roar is a problem.
Yeah, Roar is a problem, and perhaps you do not know if he has a buyback or not, so because of that you don't want to be baited into that fight. It happens so many times. You kill the Silencer, you think you can go and initiate, he buybacks, uses that global, suddenly you're losing that fight because you wasted the big ulti.
Yeah. And even once he has the BKB up, like he needs BKB and a Lincoln Sphere to protect himself from the Beastmaster.
And then...
it's such a nightmare.
Exactly. It's a very difficult game for Enigma, but he also played versus Vengeful in that last one.
That he did.
And what do you need? You need to play well always and constantly wait for one mistake from the enemy team. And that happens. Like, a lot is at stake here. Virtus.pro is playing on their home ground, in front of their home crowd, and yeah, definitely it does pump you up. It feels good, right? Like they're constantly chanting. But
oh no, what he's waiting, Armel. I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back. He's going to get the ship off. Maybe some space could be created, but they relocate in the TP away to safety. Yep, they got him. They got him. He can't get out. He's totally toast. 65 seconds down. Armel worth 579. And Roger is the one who will be shouting everyone's drinks tonight after claiming that kill. The Blink Dagger is now up for Beastmaster, so they've got their own initiation.
They first need to, well, if they lose the series, he's definitely paying, but I believe they're going to leave the drinking for... Actually, never mind. It's Virtus.pro.
It's Virtus.pro.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Never mind.
They're literally just saying, like, yeah, so what's VP doing? Oh, we're just chilling with Gambit, just having some drinks through the evening. All right, sure.
Last night I was invited to go karaoke at 1 a.m. Pretty good.
Puts the wall up. Whoa, that's well off the mark. No one's going to try and capitalize jumping in and out. He doesn't care about the Arena of Blood. And that's one very dead Cuckoo, TNC. They slept on the banana peel and did not get the skewer off, and I don't think anyone else from TNC wanted any part of that.
The biggest issue is so close to Rosh, and now you have Pasha with that Solar Crest and Ramses taking down Roshan, and you definitely don't want to give Aegis to either the Gyro or the Storm.
Here comes your Ice Blast into the pit. Roshan's pretty low. Ice Blast is going to connect. Here comes Gabby looking for the cleave damage. He's hitting hard into no one. Roshan, he actually got killed up by the Radiant side. Ramsey snatched the Aegis Immortal, running away into the cover of the BKB, but the heavy physical damage of Gabby does this work. And in comes Cuckoo, getting his rebuttal or his rebuke in towards Pasha. No one looking for more ramps, turning on the flag cannon. The Torrent, here comes your ship combination. They're just going one after the other. It feels like Virtus.pro just need the confidence to go for Roshan, just so they can be killed and caught the black hole. Global Silence now comes out, but the damage has already been done. Roger will fall, move up towards the Gyrocopter. Ramses can't run himself away from this one. The Aegis Immortal will break, and what they've done once, they'll line up to do again. The Ice Blast timing, he will shatter into a million pieces. And TNC, do I feel like VP just got jebaited? Hey, Mars, no ulti, no Mars, and I think we can do Roshan.
I don't think it's even about that, Mars. They got jebaited hard. No one was talking about how Storm is broken, but Gabi broke him. Storm zips right in front of the Sven, gets cleaved like twice and disappears from the face of this map. And now after that, Gyro has no buyback. You can even pressure this tier 3. You can buy back the Storm, but you have no global. You're playing into Greaves, you're playing into this lineup that dishes out so much damage without these ultis even.
Yeah, as you had TNC saying like the previous interviews, like, well, we pushed up high ground and we thought they may buy back and then they didn't buy back. So,
so we continued pushing,
yeah, we just kept going. Tier 3 tower gone, now the shrine can be taken.
Yeah, courier
with no mid towers, no top towers, if they take out this shrine, next Roshan is so difficult for Virtus.pro to fight around.
Yeah, and also the shrines. They're going exactly now for that top shrine. Perhaps Gabi is going to start attacking it. Yes, he will. And this shrine is so important around that Roshan, obviously. It's a major waypoint, checkpoint for you to port into, buyback.
Having to work on like an IO delivery system, Storm can ball lightning, but you need that mana for the fight. You need the life. Like, that happened without the Daedalus being on Sven. He took that much damage without the Daedalus being there.
And we have the BKB on Kunkka now too, so you can't control him. You have to use Roar on one of these targets. Most likely you want to use it on Sven, so he stops hitting you with that big sword of his.
Yep. But then if you do that, then Enigma's going to have more of a fun time.
Yeah.
And, like, there's more pressure on Solo to get that global silence on the right target. And he did do that right. But once it was done, it felt like the fight was already over.
It was over. Storm was dead, Gyro was dying, Wisp was peered to a tree, waiting to die as well.
But like, how do you then play around that? It's like, Solo's like, well, I can global silence at the beginning, but then Enigma's going to BKB and jump on Black Holes, and I can't do anything about that.
This is the thing. Like, you can see that we can't find an exit out of this, and I don't think Virtus.pro is any better at that. Like,
well, okay.
I believe what they have to do is this: smoke up and play around the map. I'm not saying that they're not better. They definitely are.
Yep.
But in this situation, the lineup of TNC is much stronger in these team fights. So you have to play something else. Try to split push them. Try to get these pick-offs with the Beastmaster, with the relocate. Spread the map. Try to do something else.
Maybe that's like, yeah, we're approaching it from the wrong angle. You don't take a team fight against them. You take a pick-off against them, and that's why the Orca pick-up from the Storm makes a hell of a lot more sense. You're able to get the jump in, you can get some control, get rid of that Ancient Apparition. He's probably the easiest pick-off that you can get from the TNC lineup.
Yeah,
I say that when he's walking around with Buckler, Hood, like, he's got some survivability items on him.
But he's still probably the easiest to kill. As you see, Cuckoo has completed the BKB, Kunkka also has a 10-second one. It's very difficult to take down these targets, to burst them down instantly.
But how long till they just buy a gem? There's Hawks everywhere. Like, the sentry wards are too far away from TNC, and VP know they want to initiate that. Ice Blast is flying towards mid as VP are looking to engage. Storm jumps down, the BKB from Cuckoo will be burned. That's his 10-second gone.
That's also very interesting because everyone from TNC was around him, but they just bailed, realizing that Virtus Pro have taken control of the Radiant jungle.
They're also moving out because they want the double damage rune in the top river. They'll give it to Gabby. And right now, TNC are looking to fight.
They can smoke up. They have everything they need. TNC
They're going to do exactly that. Virtus Pro right in front. All right, how much damage have you got? Jump it in, test it, pin him up against the wall. Here comes Gabby. Roger has to heal through this. Roger, he'll actually help out with Pasha getting the stun out. Raw went on to Gabby. Global Silence still being held onto. They pull back Pasha. He's definitely the sacrificial lamb as Gabby took 2 swings to get him. And they need to move forward. Cuckoo looking for another control. Solo getting caught. Now with him down, you've lost 2 big ones. No Roar available. Open up for the black hole as everyone from VP is clumped together. Here comes your head. Tims! Get it off! No! He's pushed back out. He hasn't done it just yet. But they'll get the kill into Sven. No one out of mana. Now Tims here's the 3-man black hole, pushing him back with a rebuke. He's going to hold him there so Armel can do the work, can do the damage. Even without Sven, have they got enough? No one will end up falling. He'll bite back. Tims trying to play around the tree lines. Roger has come back in with a relocate, but Tims, he blinks. He'll TP out. The balls are so close, but they don't slap hard enough. He's back home. Everyone from TNC is out. Huge buyback committed. 3 across the board for Virtus Pro.
Yeah, they forced 3 buybacks right there, and that's mostly because Silencer did not have one. If he only had the buyback in that fight, he could perhaps use it, break that black hole, and instantly the fight for Virtus Pro is easier as that Sven is dead. However, sadly for them, he did not have it. So we have 3 other heroes using it. Pasha, Roger, and no one. They didn't get a lot out of it, just the AA kill afterwards.
So now they have to push the towers. They at least clean some real estate back from TNC. But I'm also seeing Tim jumping in with a stun Sword Spirit right in the back lines. Roars out from Pasha. They want this Enigma down. They've got him as well. He's got buyback available. Armel's on the run. Here comes your Arena of Blood, combining with the boat. Ramses, the BKB's one off. Ice Blast is coming in. There's problematic for Virtus Pro. You're in way too deep. 3 hit and the rebuke. Cuckoo saw it coming. Ramses has no more life. Roger can't give it to him anymore. Beastmaster is down. Roger, he's got his tether away. Moves up towards no one, who stayed just close enough to help out. Solo running under the tier 2 tower. Armel looking and pumping those little legs. Aerodynamic shipping. They're looking to catch up towards Solo. Cuckoo, he's so close to him. Any kind of stun, any kind of control. They just want this guy dead. He won't have buyback available, and they need to make it worth it. Turning around, here comes the skewer, pinned to the trees. They have the reveal with the torrent. They've already found the kill. Solo is down, and the counter push begins.
Roger tried to help him there with the Glimmer Cape, ineffective because, yeah, the spear alone would give them the vision, but he also has the dust there, so they catch the Silencer, they take him out too. I understand why they went so deep, even
Cabby. Hey guys, I got God Strength and a crap ton of damage. What you gonna do? Hey.
They do have the glyph, so that's something that they can do, but only for a few seconds.
15 seconds to Gyro. He does not want to buy it back, not for this mid-ranks. Why is TNC always putting teams in this position where it's like, man, I don't want to buy back, but I have to lose a Rax. If I don't, now you're going to lose all the 4 35-minute bounty runes as well. Yeah, Roger's trying to creep skip out with a relocate, but he slows it.
He did something that used to work before when the Spirit Balls hurt a bit better, a bit more. But he didn't really manage to do anything there. He still loses the Raxes. He didn't even get the creep wave. Virtus Pro, after you commit 3 buybacks like that, you want to be diving the high ground. You want to go and try and get a kill or 2. They almost caught TNC off guard. Sadly for them, they didn't. Gyrocopter dies, so does Pasha. They don't have a buyback and they don't want to use one on Gyro, and suddenly they're 1 Rax down.
And they're getting faster on the items now, TNC, and MKB done. 1 second, come on, give him that one at least. A second slower, SAP, be nicer. And the Daedalus, Kunkka. They're just amplifying their crit. Such heavy, fast, physical damage. And when that Ice Blast connects, VP know, like these BKBs, they don't even protect him anyway.
Daedalus on Kunkka, MKB as well on Sven, so that Butterfly on Gyrocopter is pretty much ineffective versus him, hitting him.
Where is the movement? Virtus Pro. He's trying to push out the side lanes again, going back to the strat you're talking about, right? Like keep the side lanes pushed out.
Yeah, but
you can play global, but then you get the jump in over on the top lane, going after the IO. Ice Blast comes in. One more attack from Gabby will do it, but Roger, the
He's
Glimmer
trying
Cape is
to
protecting
clear.
him. He's farming up first and then killing later. Roger, Gabby, does he check the right way? He goes north. Roger went south and he relocated all the way back home.
They should find him though. Midnight
Yeah.
Pulse is there.
Hey
and
guys, like we need to check the trees, clear the trees. Got him.
They're just waiting for him. He can maybe try to port, but no, he's
Oh.
just going to die.
It was fun. It wasted some time. And
also
that
does
allowed
not-
the bottom lane and mid lane to push back in from VP.
Yeah, they definitely did use that time that Roger gave them, but there's 85 seconds that they now have to work without Wisp, right? They somehow have to defend if TNC decide to push the high ground.
Yeah, but Enigma's TP'd back. He's defending the bottom lane. He has no way to deliver himself to the front lines. I'm also loving his item choice with the Shadow Blade build up. So trying to find a way in around the back line.
Yeah, he also is using the Shadow Amulet to just stay hidden somewhere on the map where he thinks that they might come from. And then he can pounce on them.
Wrap around.
They're
Catching
gonna pounce
Tim
on him.
under the tier 2 tower. They do a lot of damage very quick. Enigma dead for a minute.
They're still very mobile, so if
And
they...
the jump in. Gabby's looking for his own. Ramses has to BKB away. Ice Blast was coming, but VP dissuade TNC from finishing Roshan.
They'll still go in, but they're playing versus Storm and Beast. They have to be careful. Yeah, they move back a bit.
Gabby, he wants a piece of this towards Pasha. The blink away will happen in time. Stormball's not looking good, and Gabby doesn't really feel this at all.
Yeah, he doesn't, but he used the BKB. And also the Enigma is dead, which leaves Virtus Pro in a good position for the next 30 seconds. But they don't have the Wisp, so the question is, do they really want to do anything without him?
They got BKB on, yeah, BKB on Storm is going to give you the confidence to jump.
I think one big thing that they're also waiting for is the level 20 on the Wisp. Once they have that, it's going to be a little bit easier to damage them with the Gyrocopter. That talent nerf from level 15 to level 20 on Wisp definitely did hurt the hero a lot too.
Amel just forever shoving this lane. As safe as he possibly can.
Yeah, no Yules on the side of Virtus Pro, so they can't really stop that from happening. They can't really catch him.
They really do need that gem over on TNC. Is he the Hawks or is these two Observer Walls
it's-
seeing way too
It's
much?
on Mars, I believe. So Mars is the one carrying it around, but you have to be everywhere,
Yeah,
right?
you
have
need to be in
hiding
range.
these- Yeah, exactly.
It's like, I see the Hawk,
He's
if I move
spearing
down,
them.
he just saw it. I think he just saw the Observer Ward in the camp. It also helps when the camp's not spawning up, but so Virtus Pro just have that one ward inside the TNC base now. But they just own the mid as well as the bottom. They're always pressuring it in. TNC having to defend the bottom lane means they're always being dragged away from Roshan.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job around this bottom lane, which is usually the dead lane. But when Rosh spawns, if you are able to push it in, it's so good for you because you're forcing a response from the enemy team. I don't think TNC should struggle way too hard defending this because they do have that Kunkka. Wittex marks the spot, he ports bottom, clears one wave and then goes back. Exactly what he did right now.
Sven's already 25. He's the first hero to hit it. Going for the strength talent.
Yeah, 40 strength. He just does so much damage at this point.
Hey, but Io hits his 20.
Yep. And
The heart of 15 these days.
yeah, he gives the Aghanims now to Gyro, which is most likely the target that he's going to remain tethered to. You can perhaps tether the Storm Spirit as well, or the Silencer, but no way. He's going to remain with Ramses for sure.
Yeah, that's why Ramses builds into Satanic. Never-ending sustain. As long as, yeah, no Ice Blast, please.
Never-ending sustain, but still the burst damage from TNC is so huge.
Yeah.
That Kunkka as well, reaching level 25 soon. Probably the fleet.
VP's now playing their own battle back. Gem purchase up. So they need to ensure that they're not under vision of TNC, or else this team fight that TNC wants to nail gets a little easier if they can see where Virtus Pro is.
Yep.
But-
Virtus Pro, they had a really strong vision game so far. It is becoming a little bit difficult to have it now versus the gem on the Mars. We're going to try and counter it with the gem on Beast Master too, like you just said.
Yep. Sentries everywhere. Gems are everywhere.
There's also smoke from Pasha and no one towards that bottom lane. Also, one good thing is you know that someone is going to try and outpush that lane. Sadly for them, they might just run into the AA. It's a good kill, but
He's trying to jump away. Oh, they found Gabby.
Gabby.
There's your Raw. Already starting it off. What can you do? Oh, there's a quick blast, but five-man VP. They arrived so quickly with no Sven, no AA.
and on the bottom lane, they force Cuckoo to use BKB too.
Oh, so huge. You may not even be able to get back. Ramses is continuing the chase. Here comes your call down. Soul Spirit's going to jump up. Tim, he has to do something, but what are the abilities left? Here comes your ship, but now you've actually lost Mars. The fleet has arrived, but...
Talking about pickoffs.
Oh boy, but they still have to go home. The base is still being beaten into the tier 4s.
Yeah, you can send Storm back, and instead they do not understand that Sven does not have a buyback. That's why they're not pressuring high ground. At the same time, going for Roche is so good for them. It's Aegis and Cheese, and it's much easier to know if they're going to buy back and port here. It takes more time, right, than on the high ground. So
I cannot believe that VP was actually given that jump.
That
TNC,
jump.
like they walked out to do some observer warding, but Sven, like, well, the observers and Sentry was down, must have given him confidence just to walk, but they were under the cover of smoke.
it's
and
because Ancient was in front, right? Ancient was the one in front. He was warding, and Sven was, all right, if anyone dies, it's going to be my position 5. I don't care, I'm a carry.
Look at him come. Still no Sven for 30 seconds. VP was so quick with Roshan that they will continue the push up through mid and look to try and claim that Rax back.
Yeah, 6.5k gold on Gyro. He's going to finish that Satanic very soon too.
Oh, Storm, straight in. He knows. The observer was up. Won't last much longer, but the blink hit. Pasha goes for the raw initiation. Wants the big target.
Mars
If they can
buyback.
bring down Kunkka, but Armel's difficult to kill off. Doesn't use the BKB. They're clustered up a little bit too much. Cuckoo. Now he's going to put down the Arena of Blood, lining up for first the fleet, but they've only killed off the Beastmaster. They need someone else to be pulled back. No one's protected by the BKB. Now, no longer. Roger, under the Sentry Ward, able to tether himself up to Ramses, who has all that movement speed to get him back over the river.
All right, so they did buy back Cuckoo, but they did take down Pasha and they defended the high ground, not even losing the tier 3, which is still pretty good for them. They are still 8k ahead, not in a bad position whatsoever. They have that black hole. They just have to find a proper way of using it. And if you remember from the last game in which they played the Enigma, it only takes that one good black hole and you just wipe Virtus Pro. So.
Yep. Especially as like this is like even later into the game, you've got the fleet to hit, you've got double the crits,
You
and
also
the Ice
have the
Blast is
5-man.
removing everything.
You
Yeah,
also have the 5-man smoke for you.
Give her a crack. Kunkka's going to try and live through a little bit more. Oh, okay,
Oh,
yeah.
and the double damage.
Oh,
Why
yeah,
not?
sure. Gabby's looking at it. It's like, all right, who wants this? Bait it, guys. Just wait. Someone will come. It's too enticing. And they've arrived. Cuckoo with a jump in. They found the gyrocopter. Is there a way to get him back? Roger's trying to do it right now, but he can't do it. The Aegis ball's already popped. Xbox spot. They want to kill up this IO. Maybe they can't do it. They move over to no one, but the Arena of Blood's back up again. These BKB don't have much time, and Ramsey's just getting ripped
He's
apart.
dead.
And maybe they have the side. The black hole instantly cancelled. Solo burning up that global silence, but Armel still wants to fight. The X-Mark Torrent, not the perfect timing for him, and he's kind of left on the wrong side of the river. BKB, he can TP outside this one, but no, it'll wear off. The Vortex is ready from no one. Armel trying to hide Impus. Have they actually got him? No, yes, 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 yes.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
They got him. At what cost, though? They did force the Ramses to buy back and Pasha, too. So they're in a really bad position at the moment. But if they perhaps go to push high ground and realize that Kunkka doesn't have a buyback, this could be really good for them.
But it's still so risky. Like, if they end up losing Ramses again, he's
Yeah, that
dead,
could be
he's
game.
dead for
That-
so long.
Like if you lose him right there, that could be just game. So
Yep.
you have to be super careful. But he did buy out. He has that Satanic to work with. Also, the way that fight started, first, classic TNC, just waiting around that double damage, seeing if anyone is going to come close enough. Ramses pokes his head out instantly. The Sven and the Mars jump him. Roger, if he waited that tether for after the Aegis is used, maybe it would have been easier for VP to
They
fight.
need to wait this up. The Arena of Blood's already come in. Man, there's so much damage. Ramses, remember, he cannot die. They're baiting in again. Here comes no one. The Raw out already with a quick Vortex. Not perfectly laid. Cuckoo protected by his own BKB. God's Strength's only got a couple of seconds left. Just got 2 seconds before it's back up again. Skewer just delaying it. So then the jump can start to come in.
Gabby's
But
dead.
Sven, he'll need to actually buy back and fight this one out. The God's Strength is ready. He can burn it and hit hard. With the buyback, you know they want it. First with the Malphite stun. They've taken one lane of frags. Virtus Pro. They
All right.
rotate towards the bottom lane. They want more, but Kunkka's up in 14.
Yeah, you just bail right now.
They
You
don't
force the
shrines.
buyback. You force the buyback, and you know that Kunkka is respawning, and because of that, you go back as Gabby and Ramses. They don't have buybacks right now, so you can play properly on the even sides, right? It's all about who gets the first pick off right now.
Yep, they're coming out TNC. That's a fun TP down towards bottom lane.
Ramsey still does not have that buyback.
I don't think Pasha really wants to be there. Storm Spirit, long jump forward, but Gabby's already blinked himself away.
It was also very difficult for them to push the high ground without the BKB on Ramses. Very disciplined that they went back. Now it's about who positions themselves better on this map and just wards one single area to play around it. And Radiant right now is in a little bit of an advantage because they can do it around the Rosh pit.
Yep.
Obviously, Roshan isn't going to spawn in a really long time, but still just taking control of this area of the map is very crucial for them.
We're starting to reach 25s even more. Mars has his, he's got his plus 80% crit. It's not like TNC had anywhere near enough crits as it is.
They had enough damage even without this. This just adds to the pain.
And Storm Spirit's making the auto remnants everywhere.
They also have Wisp getting closer to his 25. Most likely going to be that minus 30 seconds relocate. Not really the biggest level 25 talent, but it's a little bit useful, I
I was about
guess.
to say, like, I don't think he wants the, like, with all these regeneration items, there's not much point taking the other.
Yeah.
And Jaro took the homing missiles. Also, it always feels a little underwhelming.
Definitely some more control coming from him, at least.
I was like, hey, we've got BKBs, don't we? Oh, no.
I'll just fire some missiles at you, hope for the best. Solo on level 15 gets that 120 gold per minute talent, which is pretty good for a silencer. You can always get an additional force or maybe even a refresher, which he's doing in this game, to have 2 global silences in one fight.
Yeah, we all need it too, considering Enigma's building refresher as well. So it's 2 black holes.
Counter the counter.
2 global silencers for 2 black holes. That sounds like an even trade in favor of Virtus Pro, so not so even, depending on timing.
You talked about damage mitigation. AA is actually going for that Crimson Guard.
He is.
AA is getting the Crimson Guard. Not really something that you see very often, but I have to say, at this point, you don't want your offlaner to be buying these kinds of utility items. Sometimes if you have a Vlad's, you even sell it and let your position 5 buy it. It's not something that you see very often from tier 2 teams, but every great tier 1 team does that so well. They cycle the items through their cores later on in the game when you reach these late stages.
Well, you got to put that 90 gold per minute from his level 10 talent to work. He's using Ice Blast to push out the lane, so yeah, you have to give something back. Like, this is charity.
Like, what you're giving back is you're allowing Mars to buy an extra item. You're giving him an item slot. That's the most important aspect of it. And this Enigma as well, instead of getting some utility, some extra utility, he can actually go for the refresher so that the black holes are dangerous. But he doesn't know that the refresher on Silencer is up already.
And Soul's been very wise. He's hanging away from any kind of vision. I say that when the map is dark. Like, TNC have defensive observer wards inside their own base or just out the edge of it. Like,
I love the mangoes
This is a
too.
close perimeter. Oh, because he needs the mana.
Yeah, just for the some extra mana.
He actually has to burn all 3, right, before he's going to have the mana? Okay, Ancient Apparition moved away from the Crimson. He's now got an Aghanim Scepter.
Aghanims, all right, forget the utility. He wants damage too.
I am greedy, but also Aghanim's buff up is real good.
It's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that's wrong. Enigma's got his Refresher Orb up and running, and now he's trying to build into the Lincoln Sphere after 2. So everyone's just being prepared for the fight. But Tim's is in full defense. Gyrocopter's is pushing in the bottom lane with the Io. They're always feeling that they're having to look behind themselves, TNC.
We're reaching that stage of the game in which it's all like strategy falls into water. Of course, you have to be thinking about who uses their spells first, like Black Hole or the Global Silence, but it's all about this first attempt, this first pick off.
Oh, well, it's like, hey, Ramses, do you want to go on me? You can homing missile. This could chase up Pasha. He's going in, but he does have vision up there. It's underneath the Radiant Observer Ward, so they get the Torrent off. But Pasha BKBs and walks away, so the fleet for the fleet, it's only like 40-second cooldown. It's
not
easy.
really, yeah, not the longest cooldown, so you're pretty satisfied that you forced this BKB. His
and that was a 10-second one.
Yeah.
That's a long BKB to go down.
That's something that Pasha has to do. He has to jump in and try to get those early initiations. You can't really allow Storm to jump in first any longer unless he's zipping all the way to the AA in the back somewhere.
It's kind of funny to watch IO pick up the tomes. Hopefully he actually gives one over to the silencer and doesn't just use both the cooldowns to get him to 25. I don't think his is that worth it.
Yeah, I believe the tomes on Wisp are definitely much more worth than on the silencer at the moment, because silencer's levels after level 15 aren't really that great unless he's going for the right-click damage.
And he's not. Like,
Yeah.
Solo is just a refresher of
Exactly.
and an Aghanim Scepter, which he's trying to build towards. That's it.
He's just
There's
two
nothing
global
more.
silences. He's basically a global silence at the moment.
The pressure
This Mars
starting
is
to
so
build
big.
up around Roshan. You got a little bit of time. He will respawn in 50 seconds. But that means he could be up, and that's why the teams are already starting this posturing.
Yeah, we have the dance of the Rosh pit once again. Both teams gonna just camp around the pit. The most interesting part of the game sometimes. Sometimes it's just
Hey, I feel like every time I've sat in this seat for the main event so far, it's been like, where are we battling? Roshan. Where are we
Of course.
battling next time? Roshan.
the teams got really good about when it comes to fighting around the Roshan timings, right?
Yeah.
And taking the proper areas of the map when it comes to that too.
And also just having these battles last for like 4 minutes.
Yep.
Because everyone's got buybacks. it's
And
all across the board.
And you have relocates in, you have the storm to jump in, you have the boots of travel.
And it still feels like TNT have so many different ways they can just clean up these waves. It was an 1100 crit that came in from Mars to wipe out a wave. Takes no risk when you got the X mark to spot, and that's what they're doing. They just play from this high ground position.
Oh.
So even though no one's like ball lightning up, he doesn't have anyone to go on to, because like TNC, they're just grouped up and holding the top.
Also, you see the Ice Vortex in the pit. On one side, you have Ice Vortex, you have the Torrent to scout it. On the other, you can just use the Hawk or the Storm Spirit to jump over, and
The
we have
Aghanim's
two
upgrade.
smokes.
Here's the smoke maneuver, but they didn't actually grab the Enigma.
These two teams are so close when it comes to the playstyle.
Ball lightning in. They start over on Roshan. Ping's already coming, but they're so damn quick. Virtus Pro, they've almost taken Roshan. This Ice Blast needs to arrive. Here it comes in. It's good at everybody.
He's in.
He goes in. He gets it done. And Radiant killed off Roshan. He gets him all be snatched up by no one. Now Tims hits the hole, but the silence is out. Isn't the global silence is ready? Tims refreshes. He's ready to go again. They're getting the hell out of dodge.
Yeah, no one did snatch that Aegis, but Ramses, he's the one that caught most of those attacks from the Sven, and he's the one that fell without us even seeing him. He just disappeared there. And man, that timing from AA, perfect there with the ulti, just as Roshan was falling. That Aegis was on deck for a really long time too before no one picked it up. And he has that Aghanims too. So Storm has the Aghanims, he has the Aegis. I wonder who took the cheese though.
Cheese was consumed by Gyro in the middle of the fight.
Yeah, probably still affected by AA, so it didn't really help him there, as he fell anyway.
Boy. So still VP had to buy back on Ramses. They don't get the items they wanted to push high ground. Like, yeah, okay, no one has the Aghanim's upgrade as well as the 4-minute Aegis the Immortal, but
it's a mini black hole of their own right now, that no one can use. But they're definitely in a bad position right now because their carry is the only hero on the map that doesn't have the buyback. So if you find a way as TNC to catch that Gyro and blow him up like that last time, that could be just it. Game over.
No one's getting really good information on TNC. And he is the Night Watchman. Whoa, okay. He's going to jump in. There's some friends behind him. But it's all for the 55-minute bounty race. He tried to grab it mid-ball lightning.
Yeah, just playing with fire a little bit there. Scouting as well.
It's like how Dust is now relegated to sitting on the ground on the hillside. Detection's good. Bounty ruins even.
Yeah,
and so was this game. 4,000 the net worth, the difference. It's all come back in. It was a 15,000 advantage to TNC at one point. The experience as well was roughly about the same, but now everything's even Stevens.
It's very even, but at the same time, if you think about the cleaves from the Sven and the Kunkka, they just need to hit that Gyro once or twice and he's goner.
You look at VP's positioning, it's like it's so difficult to get that hit. And the Storm Spirit, he's finding the back lines more and more.
So far, he's done a really solid job when it comes to that. They were a little bit greedy when it comes to that Roshan, but you can't really blame them considering how fast it fell. This is good from the Beastmaster as well. He's going for that refresher.
Oh. Hey. Invis runes stolen by no one.
TNC is probably the best team when it comes to fighting around runes. Fighting around Rosh, perhaps you can give it to EP. But runes, man, TNC always has these traps in the right place at the right time. This time around, they don't manage to catch Store, but They were close. That double roar from the Beastmaster might help them when it comes to controlling that Sven during fights, as he dishes out way too much damage. The only way to deal with him is control him, and control him.
Sounds like an easy plan.
Yeah,
Just do it
easy
3
plan.
times over.
Yeah, just do it, man. Just control him.
I like how
Just kill him.
just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah. My God, that damage output is stupid arsely high. They're building into more Datalists as well. Everyone and his dog has a refresher orb. You've got one, I think it was actually in the quick buy for, actually I think Gabby's changed his mind again. He's going back for Butterfly now.
Yeah, as he notices that the gyro does not have the MKB. So
Courier's bringing his Lincoln Sphere. That's what he's getting.
well, he has Lincoln Sphere and then he has Phase Boots as well that he can swap out for another additional item.
Nice. Yep. Look towards the top lane, Armel. 14-12.
There's still Aegis on Storm, one of the best Aegis carriers in the game.
Loving his mindset. Like, I'm just gonna like torrent on the ramp. If I hit something, we go for it. If I don't, then we don't.
Yeah, he's really good at predicting where the heroes might be and just goes for it.
Oh God.
So is no one though. He predicts where AA is and just takes him down, gets the gem for his team too. Takes the gem away from TNC, which is even more important as these Hawks are going to be able to give them more vision.
That's the first kill no one's been able to get with that Bloodthorn. Gets it over towards Solo, so Solo's net worth starts to increase as he's getting closer and closer towards that Aghanim Scepter.
Another big item that we have on the side of Radiant is travels on Enigma. So now, even if he dies in the middle of these fights, he can buy back, travel back. He doesn't have buyback right now, 400 gold remaining. But if it does happen in one of these next fights, and he does have that buyback, you buy back, refresher, fight again, it can catch them off guard. And it's all about revealing these new items, like this one new trick that you have, this one new card that you have up your sleeve. That's how these next few fights can be won or lost.
So much prep work for a fight you know was coming. At TNC, obviously don't want to force it. There goes the Aegis Immortal. Kind of knew that was going to be burnt just because of the buyback cooldown timer on Ramses. VP don't take the risk. It's still an elimination game.
Still, but they still don't have the buyback on Gyro.
They're ready to go. Here goes the ball lightning. Jump in, nice and deep over on Gabby. Gabby patiently waits and does not burn his BKB. They want to play underneath that Tinker Ward. Up on the hillside. Just someone from VP needs to come a little bit closer. No one's there. They see Pasha as well. They're checking the hillside and so much information. Jump forward, Cuckoo triggers the BKB. No one, only down a half mana. And that doesn't matter when you're a Storm Spirit. You really don't care.
Yeah, that's very carefully played by No One and Pasha. The reason why they were down there is because of the Arcane Rune on the Storm Spirit as well. They wanted to play around a bit, force TNC to be there, as if you can force them to be on the bottom lane, then your Gyro is safe in your own jungle. And that Gyro still does not have buyback for 2 more minutes. So you're pretty much just trying to delay the game a little bit longer.
Waiting to see Kunkka, like, there's no Blink Dagger on him. He's just using his Phase Boost to get around, but he's going to replace that with another Daedalus soon.
Just some more damage, I suppose.
He's just going to have no movement speed. Like, how do you get this guy forward towards the lane into a better position?
Instead, he sells the armlet, actually. It's not the phases. Yeah, it makes a little bit more sense.
He needs his positioning. Roger, TPing out safely. 60 minutes, we crossed the hour threshold. These teams are taking it late into the night.
Yeah, the only hero on Virtus Pro that doesn't have that level 25 is Silencer, who's trying to get towards his Hex. On the other side, I believe Ancient should be the only one without 25. Well, with the Aghanims on Ancient Apparition and the level 25, that's going to be very interesting too, to see what he takes. If he gets plus 5% Ice Blast kill threshold, that would be pretty good with the Ags and the ulti, but he could also take the 700 AoE cold feet. That's a lot of control.
Yeah, when BKBs are dropping a little bit lower too, maybe that would be more problematic for Virtus Pro. But
you drop the duel, like the arena, and then the 700 AoE cold feet, and they're just frozen inside.
I like that. Like Mars is playing with the lava, and then Ancient Apparition is like, well, you know what? I've discovered a new type of bending.
Just some fire and ice.
It's still better than Season 8. Actually, that was Ice and Fire. That's the other way around.
Yeah, it's close enough.
Yeah. Let's not pick on details. Oh wait, no, that's what everyone was doing for that entire the TV series.
And they blame us when we have like a cup of coffee on the table, on the panel, or something similar, and those guys just casually forgetting Starbucks everywhere on the set.
Yeah, that's gonna be the newest sponsor. Like you think Game of Thrones takes a long time? Try getting through an entire day of Dota 2 games. Try and get through an entire week of Dota 2 games. We need the real energy here. Out, jump in, Stomp going in deep. Raw's already out. They start over on Mars with a Vortex back. Trouble for Kuku. Able to get that BKB off and then survive. VP retreating back out again. No one's regenerating up very, very quickly. And TNC, they want to try and find this fight. No cooldown available, but you still got the double Global Silence and the double Raws available too. They would love to fight.
Yeah, I love how Gyro is just leaving these little presents for them, these little homing missiles as he's running back.
Actually going Silver Edge, Gabby. All right, he's going to trade out that Blink Dagger to go Silver. Actually, no, he's going to put the boots in. So that's what he goes instead the Butterfly. But this is so dangerous. They've already given away a gem. Like, VP will have vision somewhere.
It gives him one extra way of initiating, I suppose, getting closer to the Gyro.
Ice Blast is coming in. They see, there's your jump forward. They go after the Gyrocopter. He's protected, looking for the cleave damage, but the quick relocate away.
Yeah, God Strength is used.
Do you jump? Do you jump? They get rid of the Dire Observer Ward, but there's remnants everywhere, and yeah, you don't jump, Jack.
The buybacks are up. The God Strength is used. BKB isn't there. So if you are a Virtus Pro, you should be looking at smoking up and fighting right now. You're in a pretty good position. As you can see, Pasha just running uphill here.
I like this from Roger. He gets a Desolator, so he does actually still get the ally target. But it's meant to work with Ramsey, so he hits absolutely everything.
Yeah, look at that damage from the Wisp.
And now just beats down on Roshan. The Roar is there. It's over on Enigma. And this is really problematic. Tims does have buyback available. Roshan's already down on half-life. He has to use it now. The Creeway's pushing him through bottom. This will also be problematic for TNC.
He has to buy back right now if they want to
Yeah, he does. It's already too late. Here comes your buyback in. Start with the ships. Start with Anthem. It's all going on the pit as well as the ultimate. Maybe they have the damage.
Armel's got it.
Kill by Radiant. Armel got the Aegis Immortal and the fleet. It just keeps sailing through on top of Virtus Pro's head. Storm is down. His buyback's available. Roger, he's just a Desolate King, but has no damage in the black hole. It's cancelled. Solo used the refresher. Now Tim goes again with the black hole. Solo's caught on the edge of it, and he's got him. Three of them caught inside the hole, but the damage isn't enough yet from TNC. It's coming from Virtus Pro. Gabby will go down. Buybacks up from him. The Aegis Immortal will be burned, but that is one very dead conquer. No way out. Buybacks are all still available from TNC. There's more in the tank. But Virtus Pro will drain it first.
Man, Teams was so patient in that fight, waiting for the proper black hole, and he did catch them. But it doesn't matter because Storm buybacks, and then just zips right through them in the backlines and deals so much damage.
Virtus Pro, they've been so patient for this. The Black Ball can't tell him to hurry up. TNC, three-man smoke up. Sven has buyback. Enigma does not. The Hawk will give him vision inside the base. That's why TNC is smoked. Virtus Pro, they can't go for the Megas. Here comes your Ice Blast. Kuku puts down the Arena of Blood. They want to try and have a crack here. And Mal No One jumps in deep. The ships don't hold him in position. No one just ball lightnings away. They know they can, but then again, you can clean through the waves quickly as TNC.
That relocate was so important in that situation because there was no BKB on Gyro ready. And now with that BKB, if anyone initiates on them, they can actually fight.
They go again. The melee ranks is dying. Sven is brought back. Fortification tries to slow it down. Armel, here we go again. Toss him up in the air. Kuku tries to skewer him back onto the racks. Pasha jumps in for his own roll on the BK beat up Mars. They want to die back on him. Man, the damage! They pull him through. They drop him down. TNC, that's really the game. Armel can't stand and fight. All he can do is die. The Ice Blast won't connect on anything. Virtus Pro are going for the GG push.
Man, look at Roger. He's a Death Star at this point, just destroying these buildings with Desolator. GG.
65 minutes. Virtus Pro. Patience is a virtue. They have an abundance. TNC, they play their big combinations. They played it superbly. But Virtus Pro, we wondered how they could play around it. We got our answer.
They just played around their buybacks so well. Around that little ball of light with the Desolator, just destroying everyone in those last fights too. But most importantly, no one buying back in that crucial fight. Solo as well with the global double. was really well played by them. And it came down to that Roche fight so many times in this tournament. It's all about that Roche. It looked good for TNC. They used the boat, Sven jumps in. They managed to even snatch the Aegis. They managed to have a good black hole. But you just can't stop Virtus.pro.
And you really can't, but of course the next team will have to give it a shot. Team Liquid, they're in the lower bracket. Still massive props to TNC. Fourth position for this competition. Before we start singing VP's praises, TNC have played superb Dota, TI winning level Dota, but they've had a couple of falls now here in the lower bracket. VP is one of them.
You can't blame them. Virtus.pro, they're kind of a team that just forces you to make mistakes because they play so well.
Yeah.
And they have this hectic style of playing too, which if you try to match, mistakes have to happen.
Yeah.
And that's where they thrive. Like Virtus.pro just abuses them so well.
Yeah, and I want to see how VP play up against Team Liquid. That's their next big opponent. Liquid's had some time to think about Virtus.pro. They're definitely watching these games, and VP, like, they weren't flawless. They weren't flawless in their play, but it feels like as the day just goes on, VP gets better and better. As this lower bracket goes on, they get better and better. Will be enough for Liquid. Will be enough for the grand final against VG. You want a flawless team.
You need to be flawless versus them.
Yeah,
definitely.
I want to see, but lovely, flawless Dota. That's our last day, hopefully.
Yeah, for tomorrow we are hoping for flawless Dota. I am happy that today was not flawless Dota though, because that makes it just all the more enjoyable to watch. Oof, what a game to go out on for TNC and Virtus.pro. That was a shame though. No game 3 in the house. I'm sorry, you were really rooting there for TNC, but I mean, it was some beautiful Dota play. Oh, come on, it was fun to watch.
It was a great game. I have to hand it to both teams. I badly wanted to see a third game in this series, but I mean, there was just so much crap at the end of that game. Io hitting Roche from outside the pit with the 25 talent. You have Silencer literally at one point during one of the fights, he solo smokes just so that he doesn't show on the map, so he's guaranteed to have that silence. Great game of Dota.
I mean, where do you want to start breaking this down, gods?
Let's see some
From the
highlights.
beginning. Yeah.
From the highlights, we are starting at minute 18.
I mean, the laning stage was overall pretty even, which is why good coming into these highlights later on. But it felt like a very hard game for teams to have those same black holes we'd seen previously. And it did feel like TNC were a bit kind of discombobulated in some of these fights. They just kind of split up all over the place. And a big part of that is just the storm factor. No One Storm was just so hard to lock down and deal with.
Yeah, we talked about the 5 position picks of VP early on in the draft, putting pressure on the opposing cores, but in this draft, you felt the pressure of the Silencer more on the Tim's Enigma, not able to just get out of control in these team fights as he was against LGD earlier in the day. I give a lot of credit to Ramses in this game. I thought he was very patient in a lot of these fights. We've seen him at times in his young career have the tendency to really rush into some of these fights, and his positioning was very, very good in this game.
This is such a tough Enigma game because you have a refresher, Silencer has a refresher. Yeah, you need to play a mind game. And there was, I think, one fight where TNC could have won since Enigma bought a Shadow Blade. And I think this is the one where he could have actually caught Silencer. They had no vision whatsoever but missed him. He wanted to get all 3 of them.
I
think Solo needs to buy back in this one.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not the fight.
No.
No.
Well, this was a great black hole.
Yeah, this is one of the fights they do really well. They TP out as the Storm buys back.
Yeah.
This is, you know, Storm buyback is one of the scariest things in late game Dota because of his mobility. The second he does, if you're not ready to fight, you got to get out.
That's how they won the last fight. Storm just buying back, and this is we were watching the game and I said this is the classic VP, and there it goes. A little bit of too aggressiveness and overextension. They lose Ramses.
They lose more than Ramses. Cuckoo makes sure that he chases Solo to the end of the world after that one too.
A Storm level 25 is just a broken hero in my opinion, because you can't really push, especially when he has a buyback. You're controlling the runes. There's gonna be an arcane rune spawning. Some of the times he also had both double damage and arcane rune, and he can do whatever he wants, especially in the later stages of the game when these BKB drops.
Yeah, I'd say late game Dota here was decided by 2 things. One is what you just said, the Storm. The second is vision, Beastmaster Hawk. It just having vision in late game, allowing you to get these initiations that, you scout all the ward spots, you have detection, you have a gem, whatever, and you're like, oh, there's no wards, but suddenly there's a hawk on top of trees that you don't know about.
Yeah, I think this is the fight that I was talking
right
about,
here.
and he missed
If
the
Soul
silence.
is 1 pixel to the left.
Silencer actually did the sidestep.
I mean,
Yeah.
those drums of
Got with a
power
little
charge and
juke.
drums of endurance. He needed every bit of movement speed right there.
Yeah. It's tough.
Sun deals a lot of damage, but he falls off. Like, you can see him being kited, especially against these heroes. And during the draft, I love the Beastmaster pickup, and it's really paying off, even though Pasha got kind of shut down. But he was not afraid to blink initiate on a target to go for objectives. That's what I like. He's not waiting for Enigma because they have this silencer standing so far behind to actually cancel the black
no
hole if
move.
needed.
It's a space station.
Yeah, Tim's shouldn't have been walking forward. He does a buyback, but that's not how you want to start a fight regardless. But yeah, it gets so hard to play late game when they have this constant hawk vision. And then the other thing is the atomization, like everyone go BKB. Like you obviously expect it from Gyrocopter, from Storm, but Pasha getting on Beastmaster means he can initiate in, and the catch from TNC is this Kunkka. You can just BKB out of it. You can BKB out of the Mars ultimate as well.
I would love to see a different item build than Kunkka in this game, to be honest. Look at Io, like, has a flak cannon and Deso just hitting everybody.
This is the buyback from the Storm, and he just cleans them up.
Yeah. I must say, though, this game, even though TNC was ahead for a large portion in terms of gold and all that, it felt even the entire way through.
This is why VP is one of the scariest teams in the world to play against. 15,000 net worth lead doesn't mean anything to them. Like, one mistake, they're back.
Yeah, they're going to keep running at you, and they're going to be methodical in their approach to the individual fights, and that's the difference between this VP and the VP of 2-3 years ago. Is that this team is going to pick its battles. The one dive for Enigma in the base with Black Hole down aside, I thought that their tactical approach to the engagements of this game was just better.
And late game, though, it becomes just beautiful to watch. The Aghanim sense, especially on the Storm Spirit, we saw it in Alliance game, and it's extremely effective. It's like a mini black hole, then the fourth one with the Refresher and the Aghanim Scepter. Late game Dota was usually boring because no one wanted to do anything, saving just for the buybacks, but now it's a different story, and the Roche fights matter way, way more.
Especially if you get to play Storm at level 25. I'm sure that was a blast for No One to play. And speaking of No One, Renessa is with him right now.
We are here with No One after that incredible VP series. So you guys have won 2 series today. You still have more to look forward to tomorrow. What's the energy level in the team like right now?
I mean, like, it's pretty good. We didn't expect that we'll win, but we prepared before the games, and we just want to have some fun.
Every single epicenter, you guys have placed higher and higher. Do you think you can, you officially are now going to place higher at this one? You think you can, take the win overall?
I mean, like, we will see tomorrow. I can't say like this.
All right, so let's talk about the game specifically. In the first game, that Weaver pick was a little bit of a surprise. We spoke to Heen about it. What were you going through your guys' heads when you picked that Weaver?
I mean, like, we knew that they'll pick Batrider, and we discussed before the game that Weaver and Ix, it's always good against this. So we just take it because we see that it could work. It could work.
So how do you guys decide whether Shadow Demon's going to be a 4 or a 5? Because you're very flexible in where you play that hero. So when do you make that decision about, who should play it?
We can just see that thing before, like, last picks, I think, and we discussed it before it, and we already know. We already know what we're gonna do with this Shadow Demon, and it's always like what our captain says, like what's the best option for us, and he chooses it.
Makes sense. Now on to the game that we just watched with the very fun Storm Spirit, definitely. I do want to ask, now there were 2 elements to that. Storm Spirit is obviously great against the Mars ultimate, but also TNC were sort of lacking traditional lockdown in a sense. So, what pushed you to pick Storm? Why did it seem like such a good pick that game?
after they pick like Kunkka, we discussed that Storm is pretty good against this hero on the lane, and for whole game it's really good. And we thought that they'll pick Mars or Tidehunter or Sand King, and without draft, Storm is like OP. We have a thought about this way.
Storm was OP. Can't confirm. Okay, so last question. There's been a significant shift in the meta that now your lockdown comes from cores rather than supports. How has that affected your guys' drafting? You know, have you really adapted to that, or have you just noticed other teams are doing that?
Actually, we just trained like 2 weeks, and we have a lot of drafts in our minds. And like when it came in the tournament, it's always changing. And right now, like we have totally changed our drafts. And like I know what do you expect me to say about like cores and like supports. It's just the picks and how we see Dota. That's only about it.
All right. Well, thank you for talking to us. I know you have another series to prepare for tomorrow. So good luck to VP, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Always good to hear from no one, and it's always good to hear as well that our panel was on point in terms of what they thought the last picks were going to be for TNC as well. We were right with them, with the Mars and the Sand King. This is, you know, a little bit of confirmation that we're on the right track.
We're not idiots.
Ooh, question mark.
Depends.
Yeah,
this
let's
shift's
go
not.
with that.
So it was a great series, 2-0. Let's close the chapter on TNC because they've had an amazing run here already, ending 4th. Of course, going into the tournament, they did look hot. Did you expect them to be top 4?
Expect them to do really well after. I think ESL won.
Yeah.
That was where they really, put their name out there. So coming in, I would have 100% had them in the top 8. Probably expected, top 4, top 5 or 6 maybe. It's one of those majors that a lot of the top teams didn't prepare for as much as well. So that, I think TNC had a lot more to prove.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
they should be
TNC
happy.
Yeah, after Coach joined, you could see the difference, the way they play. And I think everyone has to agree on that one. But again, once he's gone, it's all on the players. TNC had an amazing season. Glad they qualified for TI. They don't have to go through SEA qualifiers, and looking forward to see them at TI.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I think this is one of those teams that it seems like every year gets overlooked going into TI. I don't think that's going to be as much the case this year because Heen is obviously a name that anybody in Pro Dota is going to recognize. And this team, in terms of the results that they put up at the last 2 events, top 6 at Birmingham doesn't sound that impressive until you realize that it was EG and Secret that knocked them out of the tournament, and both of those were the full 3-game series. And of course, VP here. VP, the team that we saw in the early season and most of last year, showed up today, and TNC still gave a hell of a game.
Indeed they did. And of course, during the series, you guys at home were allowed to clap for your MVP. Now, we kind of already knew what, what the result would be because, as always, the Russian community does like Solo, so they vote for him. But let's see what you guys did. If we look at the English stream, it's Ramses and Tim.
Yeah, baby.
Solo, 92,000 from Russian community and 6,000 from English one.
He came 3rd for the English, 4th for the English community. Ramses, no one, and Tim Zol came higher.
Okay.
No surprise there.
Tim gets to play Enigma. He gets to steal a few votes there.
I mean, his black holes are still pretty great, even though they get interrupted every time. It was a tough game to play Enigma in, and I think if we would have had a 3rd game, I think we would have seen an Enigma banned again against this Enigma, but no 3rd game, unfortunately. We do have updated brackets for you guys because we had 3 series today, and we saw 3 teams going home. We only have 3 teams left. Liquid, Vici Gaming, and Virtus Pro. And we are going to have a rematch, don't we? Yes, we do. Virtus Pro versus Liquid was already there in the upper bracket, where Liquid was victorious 2-1.
Yeah, 2 20, 25-minute wins for Liquid in the games that they won. One of them a Meepo game, one just a game where Liquid stomped the lane. So I think there's a lot for VP to learn from that series. And if anything, I would say VP's slight favorites for me at least, just based on their overall current strength. And I think Liquid being a bit more narrow with the heroes they're picking. But
I see a little bit of nods coming from
Nahaz is giving me. Nahaz is giving me the "I'm nodding, but I don't agree" look.
Yeah, I'm gonna make Liquid a slight favorite for me in the series. To me, I think it makes a big difference that Liquid got to sit at home today, watch some of these drafts, and I think they'll have a better shot at adapting to what VP is doing. I love what VP is doing with their first phase 5 position picks, but I have to believe that Liquid are going to have a way to address that.
All right, Lacoste, you're the tiebreaker.
I'm going to go with VP. I love the way they just play Dota overall, and their aggressiveness and ability to adapt no matter what situation they're in is the huge factor. And I think Liquid kind of got figured out through this tournament. I think they're running out of strats.
All right, fair enough. A lot of things have happened in the arena over the course of the last couple of days. Not all of them were Dota related, such as this. It's going to be on your screen in a second, but there was a surprise. And this surprise, I don't speak Russian, but the text is going to be that this young lady in the blue jacket is getting a tour on stage. When behind her, they have been together for 10 years. So he kind of already knew she would say yes, and she does say yes.
Dota bringing people together.
Yes.
That's a first for me. Normally the opposite happens in the Dota games I see.
A lot of...
That's great.
That's a great
A
moment.
lot of good feels.
And hopefully they got to stick around and watch their team win.
Oh,
I
yes.
wish them many Dota games to be played together. I'm wondering who's playing the support role.
No, you don't.
He is.
Look, few marriages need more excuse for conflict. Playing Dota with your spouse, I'm not so sure about.
I play Dota with all
I was
the
about to say, I was going to
time.
ask Cheever. Cheever has a different opinion.
Yeah, but
Sometimes he doesn't want to play with me because he says I get really annoyed sometimes. But I don't think so.
It tests things, but
Yeah, but
it
we're
makes
able to
things stronger.
separate
Yeah.
things.
Jeez, if you're mad at Owen, would you still play with him?
If I was what? What?
If you're mad at Owen, do you still play together? If it's not Dota related because
Yes.
you missed a Ravage or anything.
No. Because if I'm mad and he does choose to play with me, he's afraid to make me more mad, so he's super try hard. So we win. This is how that works. If I'm in a good mood and he's in a good mood, he's just clowning around.
Yeah. So if you ever really want to win, you just could pretend.
you've got this relationship thing figured out.
Yeah, there you go.
Not bad.
So a lot of people have been sending in pictures today, and we can take a look at some of the winners of the competition. So let's see how you guys are enjoying. Wow, 3 Nahazes? Are you sure that was the right way to do it?
Send this guy
Wrong.
3 Arcanas.
Nah, I think he's pointing the wrong finger.
All right. Lacoste, I will accept my being owned and sit back and smile.
Oh, number
Oh,
2.
this dude wins. Like this.
He's watching what? He's watching Upside Down?
Why is he watching upside? He's making a point to
This dude
whoever
is,
didn't
from
root for
Stranger
TNC. But
Me versus whoever didn't.
He needs the laptop upside down as well to match it.
Yeah, he does.
Wow. If you watch Upside Down, is Kyle right?
Perhaps.
Teach them young. That is how we
Amen.
do.
Amen. I have been a part of that scene many times myself when my daughter was young.
Oh, and I have that mouse pad as well, and that mouse as well. And this is
someone from the crowd.
This is not a victory. This guy's not getting an Arcana because this is actually from our producer. He's got one of the best seats in the house.
That's cheating.
He put his own spin.
Wouldn't you?
I would. 3 Arcana.
You can show off that view. I mean,
You know
it's
he's
a
not
good
giving himself the
view.
Lena Arcana.
Yeah.
I see a
it's a
picture of
doggy.
dog. I
Yeah.
press like.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that is how that
Simple
works.
man. I see dogs.
Cute dog.
Island game?
What?
Wow, on holidays.
Okay, you win.
I
That's
wouldn't
a
mind being there right now.
That is probably one of the better views when
I'm
watching
gonna
Dota on a
downvote
tablet.
this one. No Twitch chat open. This is the only reason why I'm watching the stream.
You can actually watch on theater mode. You can also have Twitch chat. So yeah, that is lacking over there.
That's not a theater mode.
No, it's not. I can see that because there's
Yeah.
no Twitch chat.
He's just trying to
How do
keep
you-
the positivity around his holiday destination, you know. He doesn't
Even
want
I
Twitch chat
can't
bringing him
watch
down.
Dota without Twitch chat. What are you doing with your life?
Don't worry. Everybody who's watching Dota without Twitch chat, you're fine. That's also allowed. Everybody can enjoy Dota the way that they want to. We're very wholesome. Sometimes. I almost believed it.
This is where Kyle would insert some like really deep philosophical saying or something.
Yes. Well, he has a chance to do so tomorrow because that is when we will be back. Do you guys have any final thoughts on today? Because we had a day full of 2-0, so we're ending a little bit earlier than normal. I wasn't really expecting 2-0s all the way,
Yeah.
must say.
It didn't feel like they were all 2-0s in a sense. Like TNC, VP,
Yes.
neck and neck. We saw it in some of the early series and games as well. I mean, for me, TNC's the team of the day in a sense. Like, yeah, they're knocked out of the tournament, but they've come so far over this DPC. And then for tomorrow, we get VP playing the last day of EPICENTER for the first time. I'm hyped to see them play in front of the home crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, VP, maybe not back to their TI form. And this is what I'm looking for, to see them performing the TI, maybe even get Ramses that ring, huh? Who knows?
I think it's really, really cool. When you think about this tournament and how many upsets and how many great runs we've seen, we got to see Alliance lock up their spot at TI. We got to see TNC continue being one of the hotter teams in Dota, establishing momentum. But at the end of the day, when the dust is settled, we got 3 names up there, major champions in Vici Gaming. We've got Team Liquid with that rejuvenated roster, and we've got Virtus Pro with a chance to finally bring home the goods in front of the home crowd. Don't miss tomorrow. This is going to be good.
It is going to be amazing indeed. Tomorrow we will return around noon.